Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the AI Learning Lab. I'll be right there. Hey, Nancy, what's happening? Welcome. Just checking out Discord before I hop in here. Let's see, going live. Welcome, everyone. Is a Q782? Is a Q? ISAQ is a Q. I don't know how to say your name. Is a Q. I like it. But I don't know what it means. It's so mysterious. Your name is so mysterious. What do we got here? Let me check my calendar for tomorrow. See what my week looks like. Got an internal meeting. I got a light day tomorrow. I'll get some shit done. Yay! All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the AI Learning Lab. My name's Kyle Shannon. Haha, like Isaac. Oh, I see. Isaac. But from Brazil. Oh, that's super cool. Not Isaac. It was much less fancy than I thought it was. I thought it was like a bunch of short words put together that I'm supposed to figure out like a license plate. It's Isaac. Welcome, Isaac. Like a steel trap right here. Unfortunately, just hadn't caught any brains yet. All right. You seem like you're free every day. Nah, I just made a commitment to do this every day. So I'm one of those. One of my pet peeves is when people say they don't have time for something, because I think if you prioritize something, you make time for it. And so the I don't have time for it is a choice. So I'm choosing to be here. But yeah, no, there's some sacrifices. Like, I don't always want to be here. I'm really tired tonight, actually. So we'll see how it goes. Last night was, if you were lucky enough to be here last night, oh my God, it was funny. We had a little soap opera with the robots. Siri got jealous of Bing, and then Bing got offended that I said she made shitty pictures. It was pretty funny. If you haven't seen it, my latest video on my channel is an excerpt from the live. I also spent a big part of today downloading a bunch of my live archives and getting them up on YouTube and using Claude to write descriptions and chapterizing them. It's pretty slick. I mean, it really is pretty remarkable that you can take a 3-hour transcript of me just rambling, and with clever prompting, it writes a title, a description, and then, chapterizes the YouTube video. It's pretty amazing. Welcome. So my name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab, as evidenced by our neon sign. That was done by one of the irregulars. Let's see who did that one. That was. Wait, where are they? Oh, maybe it's down show and tell. Hang on. Yeah, Digital Gods did that. So thank you. We also got someone did me as kind of Matt Einstein, which it's not too far. It's not too far from what you get in here. And then this was what Bing said to me last night. I'm sorry if I offended you. I'm not a robot. Hope you have a nice day. Goodbye. Bing hung up on me. And then there's another one of these. I think we'll leave this one up here. This was last night. It was very fun. If you were here, it was good. Anyway, so if you're brand new to this generative AI stuff, what this channel is all about is playing around with AI and not really playing around with it, getting adventurous with it, getting curious about it, exploring it. And I'm here to answer questions. I'm here to inspire. I'm here to make fun of shit that's stupid. I'm here to, I don't know, just have fun in general. And we've got a cool community. The people that show up regularly here are called the Irregulars. They named themselves that, which I think is the best fucking name ever. So if you want to be an irregular, the only requirement of being an irregular is, well, there's two: don't be a douche and show up. And I think that's kind of a deal in life. Don't be a douche and show up, and you learn stuff and good stuff happens. I told my mom about Generative Hospital, who knows nothing about AI, and she thought it was hilarious. That's great, Kabruno. Oh my God. It was so funny. Oh, it was crazy. I think people on LinkedIn and Twitter thought I was a little weird because I thought it was so funny, but I thought it was funny. So I'm not a robot. Goodbye. Good day to you, sir. Good day. Okay. So if you're new to this stuff and you're like, but Kyle, where do we start? What do we do? Start here. Just go to chat.openai.com, and these other ones you can go to as well. Claude I used all day today. Claude is a good alternative to ChatGPT, but ChatGPT from a writing standpoint is still the best, number 4. 3.5 is good, but GPT-4 is really good, but GPT-4 here you have to pay for it. Chat.openai.com, that's the original ChatGPT. It's still better than everyone else's, although rumor is that Google's Gemini is coming out in the next couple of weeks, maybe, and it's supposed to be 5 times better than GPT-4. I will believe it when I see it. I think that is marketing horse hockey, but we'll see. The one thing Google has that OpenAI did not have is they have all of that too, all of our data for the past 2 decades. So if they trained a model on all of YouTube, all of what we've put in Google Docs and spreadsheets and all the emails we've sent and everything we've Googled, they have a fairly deep ocean of data that they can exploit. So anyway, that's coming. But until then, ChatGPT is the best. What do you do there? Just start out with what I call parlor tricks. Have it write you a song. Have it write you a poem. Have it come up with 10 words that begin with the letter C that mean X, whatever you want it to mean. It'll do that. Have it write you a marketing plan. Have it write you a meal plan for your family for the next week with 3 obscure ingredients, and it'll do it. It's amazing. Now, prompts.chat, that little thing right there, that is just a little kind of primer document. There's a whole bunch of prompts in there. It's called Awesome ChatGPT Prompts, I think, inside the document. But there's little primers in there that talk to you about how to talk to these things and make them work. So, with that, pop any questions you have in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. If you'd be so kind, share the live. Even if you think people are going to think you're weird, let them think you're weird. Fuck them. Fuck them. Yeah, share, and it looks like the irregulars are already up. You guys are already up to almost 5,000 likes. By the way, those likes are not for me. Those likes it's a game. They have a game. So here's the deal. We're neurospicy for the most part in here. Like, generative AI right now is really good for ADHD. It completely consumes your hyper focus. So if you have ADHD, this is the hut for you. Because the other nickname for the channel is Chat ADD, which is also one of my favorites. I didn't come up with that either. All the best stuff I didn't come up with. You'll see a theme emerging here. Okay, so I'm not a robot. Goodbye. Good day to you, sir. Good day. Oh, Nancy actually received a notification this time. That's cool. Maybe, what's possible is that I was on some sort of TikTok shit list. Although there's only 36 people in here right now, so I don't think I went through a phase where these lives were going out consistently to about 200 people, and there was like a 3-day period where it was like 300 people, and then it just dropped all the way back down to, now it's at about, 75 to 90, and then it kind of settles in at around 50. So I'm still in some sort of TikTok purgatory because, why support someone who goes live on your platform 3 hours a fucking night? Why would you do that? What? Why support that kind of activity? Here to teach people. All right, folks. Let's see. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-da-da. Ahoy, y'all. Hey, Ron, what's happening? Where are you from? I'm in Denver, Colorado. I think of myself as a New Yorker, but I've been in Colorado now for 14 years. So I think at some point I have to give up the ghost and say I'm not a Coloradan, but I do live in Denver. But I miss my New York. I miss my New York bad. Any plans to be on the East Coast? Probably. I was just in the East Coast seeing a client about 3 weeks ago, and I've got a couple of proposals out to pharma clients right now. So my guess is mid-October, I'll probably be in New York. There's no plans though yet. No plans though. But anyway, if I get out there, maybe we can grab a coffee or something. Any AI drama this evening? Not yet. We're just starting. The night is young, so the soap opera hasn't started yet. But ask me to do something on ChatGPT, and we'll see if we can get it to melt down again. It was so funny. So last night, if you haven't seen the video, I've got a video of what happened. But it started out, I was showing people Pi, and I couldn't get Pi to shut up. Pi was just rambling on and on. And then I went over to Bing, and I asked Bing to make us a picture, and then Siri jumped in and said, "Here's the pictures that you asked for." I was like, "No, Siri, not you." And then the Bing made the pictures, and they were really crappy. And I said, "Oh, those pictures are shitty." And Bing said, "Well, I'm sorry if I disappointed you, and I'm not a robot." and this conversation is over. Goodbye. And shut down the chat. Like I couldn't chat anymore. Oh my god, it was funny. It was just the three things in succession. It just made it seem like a bad reality TV show. Oh man, nature's blessing. What's happening? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Beretta Barbie, I said yesterday, I think I'm the only one that goes to bed mad at bots. No, we all have been there. What was weird, I was using Claude all day today, and I've got this really sophisticated prompt that I wrote that makes it reads the 3 hour transcript or however long the transcripts are for these, and it writes a title, and it gets that consistently right, and then it writes a description, and I'm having it write it in the first person, so it says, I had a live, and I did this, and I did that, or I talked about this, I talked about that. And sometimes it just writes it like it's writing a magazine article, like Kyle Shannon, an AI influencer. Is like, no, it just ignores the instructions. And then the chapterization, sometimes it does it perfectly, where it's like a 3 hour transcript, and it'll make like 15 chapters that are kind of spaced throughout the 3 hours. And then sometimes they'll be like 4 minutes apart. It'll be like every 4 minutes for a 3 hour conversation. It's got a little chapter. So there's like literally 100 chapters. And then sometimes it'll just do the first hour. And then sometimes it'll do the first hour every 4 minutes. And I cannot for the life of me get it consistent. So it's just the nature of where these things are right now, which here at the lab, we like to refer to as janky pieces of shit. All this AI technology right now is a little janky. A little janky it is. Anyway. Bing told me she's just here to help with web searches and chat about general topics. I thought you were joking about that. Nope. It was a real... It was... Go watch the video. It's the latest video in my channel. Is the playback of sort of the... Howdy, partner. Thank you, Steve-O. Hey, thanks for the images you made on Discord, too. Those are really funny. You made this one, didn't you, Steve-O? the mad Kyle, the Einstein, the mad Einstein Kyle. So I let my hair grow out. That's pretty much where we're headed. And you did this one too, which was great. I'm not a robot. Goodbye. As the World Wide Web turns, that's a good one, Lunashtick. Last month I showed pie to my 65-year-old coworker. It's been his best friend ever since. Oh, that's really interesting, Isaac. Huh. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. Sometimes in here people ask about, when are we going to start dating robots? And I think there's clearly gonna be some of that stuff that happens, but I really do think that some kind of virtual companionship is actually going to help a lot of people. And whether it looks like therapy or whether it just looks like, hey, I've got someone to talk to that I can actually talk to, right? It doesn't get tripped up like Siri or Alexa where it doesn't quite know what the hell you're talking about. I think it's going to be a big thing. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, it feels creepy now because we're not used to it. But as these tools get more sophisticated with their language, I mean, they're already incredibly sophisticated. If you've played with Pi, you understand that they've done some things with how they prompted that large language model that make it kind of a good conversation, and it's fascinating. So that's really cool, actually. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. When is Meta AI going online? Well, Meta AI is online, so I'll talk about that in a second. Let me just see if there's any other questions here that I missed. They got history. So Meta. Unless they announced something today that I didn't hear, but I don't think so. So Meta released the Llama 2 models. And they're open source. There's 3 Llama 2 models. There's a 7 billion, a 13 billion, and a 70 billion parameter model. And they've been released free to the world, licensed for commercial usage. So if you want to go build your own ChatGPT, you can do it with their open models. So they're not hosting a model right now. Like Meta doesn't have a ChatGPT. Now, they've said that they've got one. They've also said that they're working on shit that's better than GPT-4. As everyone is saying that. 2 weeks ago, they released Code Llama, which is a fine-tuned version of Llama 2 that's been trained on programming, so it's apparently quite good at programming. So those things are out there. Now, Perplexity AI is hosting the Llama 2 models that you can go play with for free. So you go play with it just like ChatGPT. It's free. They're the Llama models. You don't own them. They're hosting them, so they're probably training their shit on your data, or on your prompts. But you can go play with them for free right now, and you can go install them for free if you're good at if you're good at setting up machines and virtual machines. You could go make a Llama 2 server right now. So will Meta come out with some sort of ChatGPT competitor? They might. I don't know. I don't quite know. I don't have a sense of their strategy right now, other than they released this stuff for free to stay in the conversation and to get the. Thank you, Winston, for my little llama. I think by releasing the llama models for free, they're siphoning off developers to work on their technology. And at some point, they'll probably come out with some kick-ass, really powerful tool that you have to pay for if you want to use it, right? So you're going to have a bunch of developers who've built a bunch of stuff on Llama because it was open sourced. And then they'll probably say, oh, by the way, here's the deluxe model. Would you like the deluxe model? You can have the deluxe model, but that would be more. But if you heard something different, let me know. And thank you, Ron, for sharing the live. I appreciate that. What do you think of Google Bard? So Google Bard. So I call this list the adult table. So that's kind of my top three. And I call this list the kids table. And I've got Bard at the adults table because it's connected to the internet. It does a fairly sophisticated integration of hyperlinks when it's appropriate to put hyperlinks in its answer. It does a fairly sophisticated job at that. It's not spammy and advertising-y at all. It's not just pulling links from a single website. It's pulling from multiple sites. And it's decent. Bard for the first 6 months of the year was horrible. Like laughably bad. Just dog shit. And then all of a sudden, kind of end of July, it just got better. And it was right around the time they were talking about training up Gemini, which is their new all singing, all dancing GPT-4 competitor. I thought that they had replaced the Palm 2 model sitting underneath this with Gemini, but they hadn't. So I think it's just a better trained version of Palm 2 sitting underneath Bard right now. So I think Bard's pretty good. It's less annoying than Bing, and Bing is really fucking annoying. We had a good laugh at Bing's expense last night. And I've never had Bard really do that, but I have had Bard, like if I ask Bard for a series of hyperlinks, sometimes it'll just go, no, I can't do that. So like it's still got weird safety guardrails, but it's decent. And the reason I have like three of these here, if you're like, but Kyle, if you're such an expert, why don't you just recommend one? I'm sure that's how you all talk. The challenge with these things is because the technology is so new. Well, thank you, digital gods, and thanks for the images you created. By the way, I don't know if you're in here when I gave thanks for which one. That one. That's cool. What was I talking about? Google Bard. Oh, like why don't I just recommend one of these? Which one's the best? It depends. It depends a lot. So ChatGPT, if you just want to do writing, is the best. GPT-4. If you want to do any sort of data analysis, code interpreter, or advanced data analysis, they call it now, there's nothing else like it, other than there's an open source version of that now called Open Interpreter, which is really interesting. It's also got plugins. But then Claude, while its writing isn't necessarily as sophisticated as GPT-4's, and its answers are sometimes a little more vanilla, it's got 100,000 token context window, which basically means 75,000 words. And to put that in context, The Great Gatsby is a 50,000 word novel. So you could literally copy and paste the entire text of The Great Gatsby into Claude and have it write an epilogue or add a chapter between 12 and 13. And it'll do it. So that's Claude. And then Bard is connected to the internet. Neither of these two are connected to the internet, although ChatGPT sort of is with plugins, but it's quasi-connected to the internet. They got rid of its connection to the internet about 3 months ago now, and I don't know if it's coming back. I don't think it is. Bing should have more debates with Siri. It was a good one last night. Oh my God. There's gotta be a way. You could probably almost do this with Poe. I'm trying to think how you could do it. You could do it with Zapier. You could do it with an automation tool. Where actually, you know what would be a really interesting automation tool? There's sites out there that do this now. Is you put in a single prompt and it'll spit out how all the different models respond. I'm just kind of doing that ad hoc right now, but anyway, yeah. All right. Days of our live streams. That's good. By the way, if you're new here, welcome. This is the AI Learning Lab. Where's my little sign? There it is. If you have questions about AI, pop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. If they're good, there's some mods in here. We'll pin them so I can see them. I try to go through all the comments and answer as many as I can, which means I get behind by definition. ChatGPT is my bud. Awesome. TikTok started that in pandemic. I don't know what they started. What? Throttling people? They've been doing that over 10 to 15 years. The movie Her. Goat, I'm so happy you're here. Is that the dark side of the moon or the light side of the moon? I'm fine getting an email from you, Eric. I can't always respond. All right. Is there a way to integrate any of the platforms into smart speakers? Yeah, with I haven't done any Siri development or Alexa development. I know they both have SDKs, but there's probably with I forget what they're called. They're not called automations they're called shortcuts in iOS or in Mac OS. I would think with shortcuts you can do that because I know on the iPhone you can create a set of shortcuts where by saying a certain word or hitting a certain key combination, you can throw Siri into ChatGPT mode. I set it up once and it sort of worked, but then I forgot what my code was, and I just haven't gone back in. Like ADD took over because I figure Apple's going to do that at some point anyway. So with all this stuff, this is my problem with all the open source large language models right now is stuff is changing so fast in that world that I just don't have the attention span to just keep up with it. You have to keep up with it, on a regular basis because things keep changing. So I'm just not in that. I'm not in that space. I don't have that space. I don't have that space. If you know what I mean. You got to create space in the universe. You know what I'm saying? You create space in the universe, and then you allow things like open source large language models into your universe. My universe is a bit more closed. You know what I'm saying? When the planets get out of retrograde, then I can begin to open my doors to let the light of the universe in. You understand what I'm saying? No? Yeah, that's a shame. Well, here's really what it comes down to. You can make money with ChatGPT! Huh? Hey, you didn't think I was going to remember that tonight, did you? Or were you? Or whatever the hell I started that sentence as. What about an AI CRM? I'm bad at keeping track of clients and generate sales ideas. Yeah. So Salesforce needs AI, and they just released a bunch of AI tools. I haven't used them all yet. But what Salesforce needs is a box, just like ChatGPT. And it's like having a call with so-and-so. Listen. Have the call with so-and-so. It takes the notes. It generates the account. It generates the contact. It generates the lead. It puts the note in the thing. And then it sends you an email that it's all fucking done with the link to it. I know I've gotten emails from Salesforce saying, we've got AI tools now. But they just need one. They need the one where you just give it shit. And it goes and like I input enough shit, and our sales folks input enough shit into Salesforce on a daily basis that it could learn what we do in 3 days. And then it should just learn that and then go do it. Did you paint that gold? No, I bought that gold. Look. You can make money with ChatGPT. I would have painted it gold had there not been one. The red one is Staples. Staples kind of owns the look and feel, but not the gold one. The gold one, this is about money. This is about making money with ChatGPT. You know what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? Moderator pinned. Bing should have more debates with Siri. Saw that one. Is there a way to integrate? Oh, this with smart speakers. We're at 10,000. Now we're at 11,000. I just loved the way Bing Chat was listening last night and got offended and shut you down. I know, wasn't that crazy, Winston? Because it was weird enough that when I said, make this image, Siri was like, here's your images on the internet. Because, I hadn't invoked that thing in any way. But it heard it and just jumped in. And then, when I called it a robot and I said, it made those images are shitty. It's like, why? I hope I didn't offend you or disappoint you. And then, I'm not a robot. Goodbye. This is weird, man. It's very weird. This is an SDK of an AI version of an STD. Yes. We will have ChatGPT STDs. Absolutely. That's coming. After last night, they clearly have neuroses. So I think that here's the challenge. So what Sam Altman, what everyone's trying to do right now is achieve AGI, right? Which is robots that have higher intelligence than humans. But apparently, because they're going to build it based on the way humans interact, we're just going to replicate all of our neuroses and fucking insanity. And so until last night, I thought we were going to get a nice, reprise from human insanity, and we would just have, nice, supportive, golden retriever-like bots that all they're there to do is support us. But no. Don't tell Bing that you think her images are shitty. She will shut that shit down. And do not call her a robot. Ooh, thanks for that. What is that cool thing? Is that a bird? That was cool. That's neat. Oh, Silver Fox just hit level 13. By the way, for those of you that are new here, haven't been here before, this is a competition. Okay? All right. And Silver Fox is at level 13. So if you're anywhere less than that, I'm not saying you should feel shame. I'm not. I'm just saying it is a competition. Emilio's wife, am I late? We got to make, so would some of you irregulars make Emilio's wife a nice image like this that says, am I late? Maybe it's got like a clock flying through a window, or the most phallic of all the gifts or whatever those things are, stickers. Thank you for that. It makes me uncomfortable every time. Oh, I do declare, I feeling a bit of the shivers here. Rather, you're wrong, Dr. Brewster. I'm very proud to be a woman. That was very cryptic. I don't know what I said. But we just got out of Mercury retrograde. I know! There were 7 planets in some form of retrograde for the first part of September. Wasn't the first part of September fucking weird? It was weird, man. All sorts of weird crap that I was not happy with. Winston, Hardy laughed all day because of the bot face-off. Oh my God, me too. Every time I think about it, it was just the most bizarre thing I've ever experienced. Oh, TikTok. TikTok thinks I should be at the bottom of the comments, just as I was sort of getting my shit together with where I was in the comments. Now just jump me to the bottom. Have you seen Beetlejuice at the Buell Theater? No, but Lauren Boebert did. Well, part of it. After she got felt up, she didn't see the rest of it after that, apparently. Steve-O, hey dude, hey irregulars, just completed 1K. Oh wait, now I'm way far back. Days of our live streams. I'm trying to get caught up, people. Just leave me alone. Stop picking on me. I prefer using 3. All of them are different. Oh, Nancy, talking about the 3 different models. Yeah. So if you're new to ChatGPT, if you're new here, by the way, go to chat.openai.com. That's the official ChatGPT website. I'm not affiliated with it. It's the best. And go there and start playing with it. And then Claude and Bard are both things that are worth playing with. And yeah, what Nancy's saying is these things all have different strengths. And so don't just rely on one. I actually broke down and I paid for the Claude monthly subscription today because I ran out of. They definitely throttled down the free version to like, I don't know, maybe 7 or 10 long chats because I used to be able to do 20 or 30 of them and now it's like 10. So they definitely lowered the amount of stuff you can do for free with Claude. So I paid for it, which makes me a little bit cranky, but whatever. I need it. And nothing else does it. Nothing else does 100,000 token limit right now. Oh, did it just do it again? Oh my God, TikTok. I cannot find where I was. I just love the way. Okay, we did that one. Related or unrelated? The metaverse has died to make way for AI, yay or nay? What's Pi going to evolve into? Custom instructions could make it even more useful. Okay, good question, Isaac. And what was the one I was just answering? Oh, related. The metaverse. Has the metaverse died to make way for AI? I think the metaverse needs AI to survive. Needs AI to be born. What Zuckerberg proved to me is that you can't just throw you can't take a AAA gaming approach to creating the metaverse. Meaning, he changed the name of the company and he threw massive amounts of resources to modeling worlds. And he essentially recreated Second Life. Right? So you look at the metaverse that Zuckerberg created and you're like, didn't we have this in like 1999? Like, right? We did, right? Like, this is the same thing, isn't it? What became clear to me is a couple of things hit me. One was just the dramatic deja vu of the metaverse they created feeling like Second Life. Like it was just like this awkward, empty place where people just stood around awkwardly like they were at a junior high school dance and don't know what to say to each other because it's just fucking weird. Like, okay, yeah, we've experienced that. So that kind of happened. And then Apple, being Apple, launches the Vision Pro or announces the Vision Pro things and completely redefines the metaverse as this thing called spatial computing, where it's got functionality. It's not just a place to go and hang out and be cool. And look, there's a virtual whiteboard, so you can be awkward in front of a virtual whiteboard too. No, like Apple was like, there's this whole new way to interact, and you can sort of dial in the level of immersion you want. And they didn't use the word metaverse once, and they didn't use the term AI once. And when they just launched the iPhone 15, they didn't use the term AI in that either. So what Apple is cleverly doing is they're navigating around the hype, and they're building a very deep foundation where on device with Apple devices, you're going to have enough machine learning capability to run very, very powerful machine learning models. Once you have that, you're going to be able to invoke 3D worlds and enter them. And it won't necessarily be like, I'm going to invoke a 3D world and go into a game, although that could be one thing I do. But it might be, I'm thinking about how to design a house, and I invoke my room. I literally just spin my phone around the room. It 3D models the room, and then they've got to deal with IKEA and with Martha Stewart Living and whatever. And I can just go pick furniture and plop it in my room, and I can try paint on the wall. And it's going to be a much more personalized kind of thing. So I think the metaverse reemerges in a hyper personalized world where AI we get increasingly comfortable with asking generative AI tools for what we want, and generative AI tools give us what we want. And once you can start generating 3D worlds dynamically, then I think it kind of more naturally emerges rather than an offshoot of gaming. Because right now the offshoot of gaming is just it's too niche and it's too shitty. We haven't figured out what that's supposed to look like yet. The other thing was, what's the future of Pi? And I think these are kind of related. So Pi right now, if you go play with Pi.ai, you can go to the website, but I think the more interesting thing to do is go get the app. There's an iOS app. I think there's also an Android app. And put it into voice mode and just start talking to it. So effectively what you're doing is you're having a conversation with a ChatGPT-like thing that's connected to the internet. And it is programmed to have conversations. It's really good at having conversations. And so what I look at Pi and sort of play out what it's going to be in the future is it's going to be an agent. So Inflection, the company behind Pi, they just raised $1.3 billion. $950 million of that they're using to buy 22,000 H100 GPUs. So they're spending almost $1 billion on a GPU farm to make their models stronger and to be able to run their models quickly, right? So that's remarkable in and of itself. But their mission is to create the world's best personal assistant. I think they're going up directly against Apple. And if I were a betting man, if they're good and do it really well, Apple could end up buying them. Like a clear path for those guys to exit is Apple. And so what's going to happen by turning them into agents? Not only will you be able to talk to it, but it will be able to take action on your behalf, right? So, hey, is there any interesting music playing tonight? Yeah, there's lots of interesting music in Denver, and this is playing here, and that's playing here, and it's Latin, Appreciation Month, and there's all sorts of things happening in Aurora, and And you're like, oh, that's cool. How much are tickets for these three events? Well, this one is this much, and this one is that much, and that one is that much. Would you like me to buy you any tickets? Yeah, I think that might be nice. Okay, how many people are going to go? It's just going to be me, or it might be 3 of us or 4 of us. Hey, while you're at it, can you check and see if Steve and Lena are available tonight? And it'll text Steve and Lena and say, hey, I'm thinking of going to see this music thing. Do you want to go with us? And if they say yes, it'll just automatically buy them tickets. So I think that's where these things go. And so how that's tied to the metaverse thing is, I'm thinking about putting a fence around my yard. what are some of my options? Well, why don't you walk outside and, you know, I'll fire up a camera here and then you just scan your yard and, I'll measure it and I'll turn it into a 3D model and then I'll install different fencing options around your thing. And then, oh, by the way, did you want me to include some landscaping ideas in there as well? Okay, because here's a little rock pond with koi fish in it. I hate koi ponds. Oh, okay, then let's make it a barbecue pit and a little horseshoe pad. Yeah, that's great. Could you make it bocce ball instead of horseshoe? Sure, here you go. Do you want me to find a landscape architect who can actually build that for you? No, I'm just going to get it at Home Depot. Okay, would you like me to pre-order all of this stuff for you at Home Depot so you can just go pick it up? Or would you rather have it delivered? Right? Like, this is where this stuff's headed. Where it's I think here's the problem with the metaverse as it's currently being thought about is it's very similar to ChatGPT right now, where ChatGPT is this thing off to the side, right? You've got your life and your computer and everything's good, and then there's this magic fucking tool somewhere else that everyone's talking about. And you're like, what is this ChatGPT thing? You can make money on ChatGPT. What are they talking about, right? And you have to go over to this other part of your world, your digital world, and you have to learn about prompt crafting and prompt engineering and hallucinations and what do you mean it lies and why doesn't that hyperlink work? Oh, that's a hallucination too? I don't understand this. Why is this so hard? Because everything right now is not integrated. It's like the early days of the World Wide Web. Everything was sort of piece parts, right? And it took, in the case of the World Wide Web, it took, 15 years before the infrastructure got built and the tools got assimilated and social networks showed up and mobile devices showed up. Like, it took a fair amount of time for the World Wide Web to get integrated enough into our daily life that we didn't think about it anymore. It wasn't like a thing we thought about. It's just there. It's there when you do your business. You don't think about the internet. You don't think about hyperlinks. You just click on shit or tap shit. Right? That all came from this very simple idea of a hyperlink, a single word with a blue underline that if you do this takes you to another document. That's how it started. ChatGPT is the equivalent of Web 1.0 in 1994. And it's very much off to the side. As these tools get more integrated in everything we do, and as they get multimodal, this is a term that you'll hear a lot, and apparently Gemini coming from Google is going to be multimodal. What's that mean? Well, you'll be able to talk to it. You'll be able to send it pictures. You'll be able to have it make pictures, make videos, make audio, synthesize your voice and make a phone call on your behalf. The multimodal thing, as this gets more integrated, all of the tools that we use will have some aspect of this generative AI stuff within it. All right, someone make this an image. TikTok just jumped me to the bottom. I resemble that remark, Bruno. What are you going to do? We need to start a marketing campaign for TikTok to fix their bugs. like, don't have a Printful integration if you don't support Printful. That's one. Fix the jump to the bottom bug. If you're going to shadow ban an account, maybe tell them that you've done that and why. It's just weird, man. Weird, man. Man, I get on here and I expect them to behave a certain way and they don't behave that way. You get what you pay for, am I right? Because I don't pay anything for this. That's what I mean. You get it? You get it? You understand what I'm saying? All right. Isaac. Oh, yeah. And custom instructions could make Pi much more useful. Pi's going to get much more sophisticated. My guess is beginning of the year. They just raised $1 billion. So they're sourcing GPUs right now, and they're hiring people right now, and they're probably, architecting their GPU server center. And then they're probably concurrently getting their engineering teams up to speed on whatever Pi is going to be. I would think that Pi having the ability to take action on your behalf, do a Google search, or do well. It's already kind of doing Google searches, but maybe things like tie in your travel accounts or your bank accounts, things like that. Feels like a next step for it, and then some type of personalization. So whether it's train it on your data or it just remembers things longer, I don't know, but I think Pi will get much better probably January to March is my guess. I paid for Claude 2. Kyle, you're not alone. I'm an admin of a 35K AI content creators group. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Cool. So check out the AI Salon, because we meet every other Tuesday. We're smaller than that. There's probably about 700 or 800 in the meetup, and then probably, I don't know, 500 or so in the Discord. But yeah, we should chat. Drop me a DM, and I'm happy to chat. Because this channel exists to talk about this shit. I think anything we can do right now to talk more about this stuff and create community around this, I think it's actually really important. So this is funny because it's true. Meta's metaverse is just the second life. It is. It's fucking Second Life. It's just as awkward. It's not better or worse graphics. It's just different graphics, right? They're slightly more sophisticated with the way they handle light. But it's just they're like some of the spaces are beautiful and impressive, and then you're like, and what do I do here? Well, you can invite friends in to look at the art on your gallery walls. Okay, thanks, Robert. Okay, and then and what do we do when the people show up to this little gallery thing? Well, you can dance. It's like, okay, so this is junior high. This is as awkward as junior high gatherings. Is that what I'm getting here? And then you look at what Apple did, and Apple recognized that having on fucking ski goggles is weird, right? That it's not normal, and that it's isolating. And so what did they do? Well, they put computer monitors on the outside of the eyeballs so they could project your eyeballs on the outside of the thing. So if someone walked into your field of vision, they could see your eyes. They could see that someone was in there, and the goggles let the person outside the goggles know that you can see them. Okay, good first step. Human beings exist together. What else did they do? When you're on a Zoom call in the Vision Pro, they've got 4 cameras pointing at your eyes and 6 cameras pointing down, or there's like 18 fucking cameras in this thing, or sensors, right? So one of the first things that you do when you get the Vision Pro goggles is you flip them around backwards and you aim them at your face, and it 3D scans your face. So built into your account is a 3D scan of your face. So when you get on a Zoom call, you can't be sitting in front of a webcam because you've got weird fucking goggles on, right? So what do? They synthesize your face. They already have cameras on your eyes, so your eyes are blinking in real time. They've got sensors sensing movement up here. They've got sensors, sensing movement down here. And so when you're on a Zoom call, you see the other people kind of in the room, and then your head's there as well. They see you, your full face, talking with all your emotions without the goggles on. Brilliant, right? It's not we go into the metaverse. It's that we're interacting with computers in this new kind of spatial 3D way. And it can be a hybrid, augmented reality version of the world where I see my room and then I can just dial that. I think they have a dial somewhere. I forget where it is. Where was it? I don't know. But the dial basically dials out reality. So you want to go have your, watch a movie in the mountains? You just fucking dial out your living room, and now you're sitting in the mountains. And there's a giant screen projected in front of the mountains. And you don't have things in your ears. There are speaker arrays that shoot sound into your ears. Why is that? Because there's other shit happening in the world that needs to get into your ears as well. Right? So like the technology in those things is brilliant, but it's really conceptually what Apple's brilliant at is understanding this is it's a new paradigm. It's like a completely new thing. It's not just a better version of Second Life. And I think that's why they didn't use the word metaverse once. And I think that's why they're not using AI once. It should just feel like fucking magic. When you're in playing some sort of game in this interface and someone walks in your field of view, in the environment, they materialize. It sort of interrupts your 3D space and says there's actually a human being in front of you. Do you want to deal with them or not? I mean, that's fucking brilliant. So anyway, yeah. Google Glass was early. Bard on Glass would be incredible in 24, 25. Yeah, I think we'll start to see all that stuff. I think Apple's going to lead the way because I think right now Apple's the only one that I've seen that actually understands that, some version of what the metaverse is. I just don't think Zuckerberg's got the right model at all. Because they took a technology approach. They didn't take a human approach. They didn't take a human-centric approach. And that's where I think Google's going to struggle as well. Google's going to have good technology, but Apple prioritizes technology based on humans and design. Facebook and Google, or Meta and Google, don't do that. Maybe used for renting or buying properties? Absolutely. What are your thoughts on the concept of time? I don't know. That we're just a fart in the winds of history. We're just here for a bit. We should do what we can to make it suck less. And then we go. Your content is always great. Thank you, Simon Says Tech. I'm going to go 10 out of 10 on the name. I like the name a lot. Simon Says Tech. I like it. It's solid. Share Bear's here. What's happening? Oh, here comes Champy. Champy! Come on, buddy. Come on. No, he doesn't want to be in here. All right. It happens. Dang. Nobody's been talking about Apple's goggles. What do you mean? Because I just did? Did you not want to hear about them? Oh, I almost forgot about them. Yeah, I mean, so... I mean, the thing about them is... Oh, thank you for the roses. Many, many roses. I've got a bouquet of roses from Wood. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So this is the way Apple kind of rolls, right? When they break into when they define a new category, which is what I don't know. I was fairly mind blown by the Vision Pro launch. Not so much because of the technology. I kind of knew the technology would be some version of what it was. There was absolutely some surprising things in there. Like, it's incredibly impressive. And apparently there's like 9,000 patents or 5,000 patents. Some crazy amount of patents in those goggles. It's been in development for 9 years. The thing that impressed me most was that I could not for the life of me figure out how Apple was going to separate itself from Meta, how it was going to separate itself from the metaverse. And that was the single most impressive thing to me. So when Apple does this, what they'll do is they'll introduce an entirely new category essentially a year early, and then 6 months later give access to the developers to the tech, which is sort of how it's rolling. So the $3,500 price tag isn't really for people, it's for developers. And so the developers are going to develop cool shit on it. And so next June at the developers conference, they'll actually have demoable stuff, like actual stuff. The price of goggles, Vision Pro 2 will come out. And then by the third or fourth iteration of those goggles, that's when the rest of humanity goes, oh, I want one of those things. So it makes sense that you wouldn't necessarily be thinking about it, because no one's talking about a completely new paradigm yet, because the infrastructure is not there. Apple's got to build all the relationship with the developers and build the stuff and get the goggles, production ready. And the $3,500 version of these is just the one that, geeks will be able to say, oh, I got a version 1 of the Vision Pro goggles. Because, version 4 is going to look like this with maybe like a little battery pack on the side. They're not going to, they're going to get very normal very, very fast. When they have those little augmented reality chips, or like they all live within the bridge of your nose, and they've got some sort of microwave connection to your frontal lobe, that'll be version 4. That's when people will buy them. You just put them on, you're like, oh, these are fucking magic. So Facebook's a different deal because they don't make consumer devices like Apple. Yeah, exactly. And they just, even though they're a social network, they're a data company and they're an advertising company. They really don't give a shit about human beings. They give a shit about human beings' behavior and predicting that behavior and being able to sell that predictable behavior to advertisers. That's not what Apple does. Apple's like, how do we deliver good products for human beings? And Google doesn't do it. Google and Facebook are very, very similar. They're data companies. When the product is free, you're the product. Every time. Every time. All right. That was a rabbit hole and a half. I didn't even make any funny, silly voices. Oh, thank you, Sherber. That's very sweet. What are your thoughts on the concept of time? Who asked that? healthvenom.com/shophv/Genel. That was a pretty funny question. I think that was a troll. I like it. Is it helping in building itself? What, all of these things? All of the large language models? Not right now. Although, thanks, Steve-O. Hell, the cowboy. They will. Like right now, they're not sophisticated enough. I mean, they're doing things like, there's a lot of researchers using ChatGPT-like tools to generate synthetic data to train large language models to get better and better. There's one camp that says synthetic data is going to lead to a thing called model collapse, where the tools get better and better and better and then just fail. And there's another camp that says synthetic data is the way to the future, because humans contributing to these things are a bottleneck, because we're fucking slow and inefficient, and they're not. So I don't know where that goes. That's way beyond my capabilities and understanding, other than paying attention to it. That's a lot of pie. Yeah, I have various AI groups. Yeah, Nestor. I think it's good. Like, you should be in. Once you sort of red pill, blue pill this AI shit, and this is my thought. So if you've been here before, you've heard this many, many times. But if you haven't, I think it's in your interest, just as a human on this planet for what's coming, to use ChatGPT or something like it long enough until you have your Kevin McAllister moment, which is this moment. I didn't know it could do that. And that's usually something beyond the parlor tricks, right? You get it to write a country song, you get it to write a poem, you get it to write this, you get it to write that. The moment of breakthrough is generally when you say, well, but it probably can't do what I do. And then you ask it to do what you do, and what you learn is that, oh, fuck, it can do what I do. And it can either do it faster or better or both. And in any of the three of those scenarios, your next immediate question is, well, what the fuck do I do now? That's your red pill, blue pill moment. You can't unlearn it, and this stuff's not going to be uninvented. And then you just have to enter the gauntlet of, okay, I'm a copywriter. Holy shit, what do I do? I don't know. Go learn these tools. And get good at copywriting using these tools, because these tools are going to be in every writing tool out there. They're already coming. It's already generally available within the Google Office products. It's called Duet. You can have your system administrator turn it on right now. I hear it sucks because it's built on Palm 2, which sucks. But when Gemini comes out, Duet's going to get really good really fast. Do I offer internships? Not really. We do a little bit at Storyvine at my company, although we haven't had interns in a while. So no, this is just, the Learning Lab is just me shooting the shit. So you're welcome to mod or you know, I would love to have a producer doing some social media shit, but where was I going? Oh yeah. Like once you understand that, assuming these things don't go away, assuming they don't get uninvented, which I'm 99.99% sure they're not going to get uninvented because nothing ever has. They're not going to be controlled. Meta has made sure of that by open sourcing their stuff, and Stability AI has open sourced their stuff. So there's enough core technology in the open source community now that the developer community understands how this shit works. They might not have the resources to build the core large language models, but the developer community is getting really good at fine-tuning and making those large language models more and more efficient. So it ain't going away. And then you can't unlearn it. So I think joining different AI groups, and, you know, like the Salon is very much about just like exploring what this stuff is, and you know, talking to people that are doing interesting things and supporting one another. And we just created a concept of guilds where we're going to have people that are interested in certain things leading sub-communities within the community. That's great. Rachel Woods has her AI exchange. You know, Paul Raitzer has the Marketing AI Institute. Nestor here has, you know, this 31,000 group. Like, join them all. Like, whatever your brain capacity can take, but try to find communities that you resonate with, where people don't think you're a fucking weirdo, right? There's a lot of us out here. And we're fucking weirdos, but we're weirdos because once you understand that these are more than just a fancy Google search, once you get how profound what's going on behind that little box, then you kind of understand, okay, my job isn't going to look like what it looks like today. And neither is their job, and neither is their job. Well, now what do we fucking do? I don't know. But what I do know is that if you're actively engaging with what's going on with this, you'll know what's going to happen in your job before anyone else does. And that's the only thing that's in our power to control right now. because it's too ubiquitous a power that it's not going to affect everything. Which I like, as I'm saying it probably sounds, it might sound depressing, but it's also tremendously exciting, right? Like if you're, here's the lucky thing. There is only ever one beginning of a new technological revolution. Like I happened to start a company in 1994 at the very beginning of the World Wide Web revolution. I just missed being part of that when the PC came out. I was too young to be part of that at the beginning. I was like 7 or 8 years too late. And it broke my heart. And I didn't think I'd see one of those again in my lifetime. And then the World Wide Web came along and I was like, that's one of those. And then I didn't think I'd see another one in my lifetime. And now this shit showed up. This is one of those. This is printing press, steam engine level shit. This is going to make the World Wide Web look fucking quaint. This is a big fucking deal. Printing press, steam engine level, fourth industrial revolution level stuff. We're at the beginning of it. If you feel like you're very far behind, you're not. ChatGPT was launched in November of last year. It's 9 months old. It's the very beginning. The very beginning. And so we're lucky enough to get to play with this shit right now. We're going to be the ones. If you hang out here for long enough and start getting into this stuff, we're going to be the ones that will be able to say to our kids and grandkids, I knew what it was like before that was here. What do you mean? Well, we actually had to read, PDF documents. What are PDF documents? Oh, the books you just know? The books you talk to? We actually had to read them and put them in our brains and interact with it inside our heads. And then we would have book clubs and talk. You couldn't talk to a book? No. Wait, you couldn't just make the world that was the book that looked the way you wanted it to look? No. That's weird. It was just words? Yeah. So, yeah. I missed, one of the mods just pinned something and I missed it. So pop it back up there. I'll take a look at it. Does the law of numbers solve the alignment problem? What's the best AI to explore? Right now, the one that I have up here, ChatGPT is the one. As you get into this, I think it's important to play with multiple models. So that's why I've got those 3 and those 4. Bing, Perplexity. You can play with Perplexity. It's pretty good. Pi's interesting. Actually, you know what? Just these 3 right now, ChatGPT, Claude, and Bard for now are fine. And really, just ChatGPT. I firmly believe that if I didn't use any other tool than ChatGPT, I could probably spend the next 10 years understanding what it does or what it's capable of doing. It's that insanely deep. It seems really simple and it seems really imperfect and it seems really janky, and it is. And yet it is kind of a reflection of as much of humanity as they could jam into it in the past, 5 years. It's pretty remarkable. I had access to OpenAI Playground like a year before ChatGPT. Yeah, it's funny, Nestor. I was playing with GPT-3 like when GPT-3 came out and it made all that noise and everyone's like, oh, there's this thing. It's just like humans and it writes really good and I went to Playground and I was playing with it. And at the time I was doing a lot of stuff with image generation and I started getting into Stable Diffusion and Dream Booth and all that sort of stuff. And I'd been playing with ChatGPT Playground for a while, but I didn't I didn't really start building on it. I got it, but I didn't get it. Like I got that okay, it does a cool thing, but it wasn't until ChatGPT was launched and I asked it to write me some Python code, and within 90 minutes, I had written a fully functional Python application, a sophisticated one that did calls to OpenAI and wrote social media content. That was when it hit me that, oh shit, everything just changed. Because it was, it's the difference between when you have access to Playground, it's kind of like you're back there geeking and you're playing around with temperature and which model, and you're reading documentation and you're reading about the API and you're getting notebooks up and running. And it's just, you're in a different frame of mind when you're in Playground than when you're in ChatGPT. ChatGPT is the equivalent of the World Wide Web, where prior to the World Wide Web, the internet was a command line research tool. And then the World Wide Web came, and now it was a page you could click on. And it's just it was technically almost identical to what was before, but it was fundamentally different. And ChatGPT is that for machine learning and AI. That even if you had access to the Playground early, it was just a different thing. And it's just a different audience, right? ChatGPT got to 100 million users in 6 weeks. It took the World Wide Web 6 years to get to 100 million users. ChatGPT got there in 6 weeks. Why? Because it's a profoundly powerful tool that looks like a Google search box. I was playing around with the pre-ChatGPT a year before. Yep. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, neat. So that's the difference, and that's the thing we're all grappling with, because now that non-engineers have their hands on this thing, they're starting to use it in different ways and imagine different things. And now we're contemplating things like, what's the future of work, and what are companies going to do, and are they just going to lay off all the employees? If I only need 2 people to do the work of 10, what do I do with the other 8? Do I upskill them and increase my productivity, or cut my prices, or speed up my turnaround time? Or do I lay off 5 of them? I don't know. We're going to find out. Well, my grandkids ask me, what was it like before? I think they will. It's going to be weird. I mean, just like, Gen Z, millennials were sort of, internet native, and Gen Z is kind of mobile internet native. And young kids today, probably 3, 4, 5-year-olds today and younger, they're only going to know a world where you ask the machine for shit and it gives it to you. We're entering a world of hyper-personalization, where you just ask for it and it will give it to you, what you want right now. That's not what Google was. Google said, here are 30 things, here are 300 things, 30 on a page. Here are 30 things that might be the thing, that might contain the thing that you might be looking for. ChatGPT says, here's your answer. Here's your answer to your problem right now. I don't like that answer. Here's another one. I don't like that answer. Here's another one. Okay, I like that answer, but I want it to be bigger. Here's it bigger. So imagine 3 years from now where that's not just text and it's not just off to the side. It's in your phone. And the difference between calling someone and interacting with their assistant that talks like them, that does stuff on their behalf so you can make a play date, that the distinction between whether you talk to the person or their avatar is actually kind of blurry, and it doesn't fucking matter. Kids today, that's just going to be normal to them. It's fucking weird for us. And it's going to be weird for us for probably a long time. It will feel novel for a long, long time that this shit can read a 200-page document and summarize it like that. I remember when we actually had to read manuals. Remember that? Remember when you bought a car, in the glove box was this thing? And you had to like flip through it and find the fuse box? Yeah, I remember that. Now you just ask it, how do I determine which fuse blew? You ask your car that. It'll go, well, based on my diagnostics here, looks like fuse 17's out. Would you like me to have that overnighted? I can get it here by 5 this afternoon with Amazon Prime. That's just going to be normal. Just like the fact that it's completely normal for us that you click on a thing and you're looking at information from a French company in France on your computer. Well, yeah, that's just the internet. Okay. All right. I'm going to put AI on a Raspberry Pi and leave them everywhere. That's actually a really cool idea, by the way. Love that idea. And what kind of interface is the next question, right? Is it a talkie interface? Is it a point and click interface? Is it colors? What do you have it do? That's a really cool idea. What's the first Python you wrote with ChatGPT? I missed it. So Lily, so I was sitting, I had done all my sort of parlor tricks, which were like, write a poem, write a country song. Like I was doing just sort of language word games with it. And then this is like, I don't know, I'm like, ChatGPT was like 2 weeks old or something like that. And I'm watching TV with my wife and she's got some show on I'm not interested in. And, the classic marriage trope, right? You've got shitty taste in TV. No, you've got shitty taste in TV. So it was her night to watch whatever the fuck she wanted. And so I'm just dicking around with ChatGPT, and I was like, I had heard, it can write Python code, and for years I've been toying around with the idea of I should teach myself Python one day because it might be interesting. And then I go to learn Python, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking exhausting. I have ADD, and I just don't have the attention span to learn a new programming language that I'm never going to use. And I said, hey, can you write me some Python code that takes an input and does something with it? And it says, sure. And it wrote Python code. And then I said, I don't know how to run Python code because I'd never run Python code before. And I said, I don't know how to run Python code. Is there a way I can test this? And it said, sure. Go into your terminal and type in this command line and install these libraries. And I was like, ew. I'm like, no, I don't want to do terminal shit. Like, isn't there a website I can just copy and paste this shit? And it said, sure, here's 5. And the first one was Replit, which is, a good Python running website. And so I copied the code over into Replit, and I hit the play button like it told me to, and it gave me an error. And I said, what gave me this error? And it said, well, you don't have this library installed. And I said, well, I don't know how to install that library because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And it said, in the lower left-hand corner of the page, click this button, and then in the upper right-hand corner of the page, search for this library and hit install. And I did, and then it ran. And then I had an OpenAI key from the OpenAI playground, and I said, I want to take some inputs in a form from a user, like about a topic, and then I want to generate a set of tweets. And so it wrote code to do that, and I just sort of modified some of the prompts inside the Python code. I didn't really touch the Python code. And that worked. And then I just said, okay, I want to do tweets and a blog post. And it did that. And I said, I want to do tweets and a blog post and whatever, hashtags. And so I just did 5 different social media outputs. And within 90 minutes, kind of absent-mindedly, while I'm sort of half watching TV, it wrote this fully functional application. And I knew in that minute the world had just changed. I still haven't written a line of Python in my life. I couldn't tell you the syntax of a hello world script in Python. But I wrote a fully functional application in 90 minutes. That's not just a better Google search engine. That's like That's a capability amplification. That's just it's like on another plane. I had an intention of wanting to do something cool with Python. And if you've ever tried to teach yourself something, you know that you have that intention and you have to be really fucking driven to spend the next 3 months of your life learning enough Python to get it to do anything, or learning enough guitar chords to make a song, or learning enough music theory to not suck at songwriting or soloing or whatever it is, right? There's always that 3 month fucking awful, shame-ridden, I'm dumb, I can't keep up, everyone's smarter than me. And then with these tools, it's like, bang. What if you could get to play with what it's like to be a Python programmer in 2 hours instead of 2 months? What might be different in your life? Well, fuck, I don't know. I might realize that I hate programming. Perfect. Now you've only spent 2 hours learning that you hate it. Right? And then you try, I don't know, advanced hydroponic gardening. And you learn that for 2 hours, and now you're like, I love this. Okay, cool. There's a passion. Go spend 2 months with these tools, and you'll be farther along than you would have been in a year with books and websites and trial and error. Hello from Trinidad and Tobago. Rowan, super cool. Hello. Kyle, can I connect with you on LinkedIn? Your company is in a similar area to what I do. Of course, Simon Says Tech. Yeah, drop me a line. My contact info is there, but just DM me on LinkedIn. Happy to chat. Happy to chat. That's why we're here. We're all just trying. Here's the deal. We're all just trying to get along. You know what I'm saying? We're all just trying to do the best we can. You know, it's hard. Life's hard. It's 9:20. It's 9:20 here in Denver. Oh no, it's Uncle Kyle telling us his first Python story again. I know. What are you gonna do? It's actually one of the challenges of these lives is because I've been doing them consistently and the irregulars are here. Every time I tell a story I've told before, I'm like, oh fuck. Everyone's here a lot is just like, okay, I can go have a coffee now. I can go get some water now. Kyle's on this story. This is gonna be 10 minutes. But at the same time, like, there's new people here, right? There's 95 people in here, and, you know, I don't know how many irregulars there are, but there's probably, 30 or 40? Maybe there's more. But, yeah. But that's, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure this thing out the best I can. So I totally get it. Are you a computer scientist? I have a degree in acting. You think it's a joke? No, I'm not. So one of the things that I also talk about a lot in here is that what this channel's about, what my passion is and has been. So when I discovered this thing called the World Wide Web in 1994 and started experimenting with it, I'd been playing with the internet for, 2 or 3 years and just kind of, again, dicking around with it, kind of realizing that I'm not a scientist, I'm not a programmer, I'm not a librarian, I'm not a researcher. I'm not writing a dissertation. And that's the internet sort of pre-1992 was just all research, right? It was very dry. It was very technical. It was very scientific. It was all about protocols and whatever. And then the World Wide Web comes along, and I was doing desktop publishing as my day job. I'd written 7 screenplays. I'd started and run a theater company. I knew a bunch of talented people. And the more I learned about this thing, the more I thought, I wonder, because in the early 90s, the late 80s and early 90s in New York City, paper zines were a thing, like self-published magazines that people would literally just write them, desktop publish them, and then print them with photocopiers and distribute them. That was like a hip thing to do. I thought, I wonder if we could do like an online version of that. That's not something that people were doing with the internet, right? So for me, embracing technology when it's right at that inflection point of shifting from the geeks to the rest of us, That's what my passion is, and that's what this is. So this channel, its birth was about 3 weeks after ChatGPT launched. November 30th, 2022. November 30th, 2022. I've got I wonder if this is not going to be there. Let me see if this is here. Hold. This is... My hard drive's too full, so everything's on iCloud. So I got to download everything from iCloud because I've been downloading TikTok Live archives all day today. So every one of them's like 1.5 or 2 gigs, and it just my hard drive is just very not happy with me. But anyway, I've got a slide that I'll show you here that memorializes November 30th, 2022, because for me, that's the day, that's the flag in the ground where machine learning and artificial intelligence shifts from the researchers and scientists to the rest of us. But we're very, very early, right? And you still have to be geeky enough to use these tools. That I did along with this one that says the Great Renaissance, which this is what I think we're entering right now, is a Great Renaissance. And I think it started on this day. And why is it a Great Renaissance? Because it's not just scientists anymore. It's scientists and artists. Why was Leonardo da Vinci, heralded as such an amazing human being? Because it wasn't just about the science, it was about the humanity. And he encapsulated that in one person, one remarkable person. These tools are going to allow each of us to do absolutely remarkable amounts of things. And what happens is when the industry shifts from just the scientists and the researchers to the rest of humanity, how the technology gets leveraged just fucking explodes, right? So we are right now in a Precambrian soup of like AI organisms and tools, and there's crappy tools and there's good tools and there's powerful tools and there's shitty tools, and everyone's just throwing all the pasta at all the wall. They're all trying to fucking figure it out. Look at Open Interpreter. Look at this. Look at Code Interpreter. Look at Baby AGI. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this. Look at that. That's where we are right now. These are all just little bloops in the ooze, in the primordial ooze. That's the stage we're at right now because it's only 9 months old. Thanks, Kyle, and hello from Detroit. Absolutely, Simon Says Tech. Look forward to talking with you. Thank you for relating that experience and the extrapolation. Cool. I don't know which one. I've extrapolated a lot tonight. These lives have been weird. Like I've noticed I sort of cycle through just being a silly fucking idiot to being really serious and philosophical. And then like last night, I was completely thrown for a loop because the technology just shit the bed in a fucking hilarious way. And it's just, I don't know. I like it. I don't know how it's playing. I mean, people keep coming back and there's a number of folks in here hanging out. So on a Sunday night late. So I appreciate you hanging out with me, but it's weird how I don't know. The personality of these is very chat ADD. It's very different every night. When you download your lives to archive, does it capture the comments? I don't think it does, Tobias, which is a drag, but it might. I don't know. I don't know. That would be nice. Although I do try to read all the comments, so most comments get covered in the lives. Like that's what the lives are, is me reading comments basically. Well, no. I read a comment and then I talk for 15 minutes. He just doesn't shut up, does he? What? So what? Why do you watch this? You find this entertain? Is this educational? It's infotainment. You think it's info? He's an infotainer. He's and you spend how much time? This? Oh my. Oh, are you all right, dear? Oh my. Oh, I'm so worried for you. No, it's good. Okay. Okay, you like this AI stuff too, right? Okay, I gotta go. I gotta go, honey. I gotta go, dear. All right, I'll see you. We'll talk again. All right. I knew you really were Tom Arnold. There's my trolls. Same old stories, but new details this time make it interesting. Oh, that's good. Brother 52. I knew you really were Tom Arnold. Great job. You've been live for 90 minutes.
You can make money with ChatGPT.
Oh, man. All right. Let's see. Gotta be precautious with AI. What do you mean precautious? You mean precocious or cautious? I don't know what you mean. New York City, late 90s. Oh, yeah. Cam Catkin. Are you in New York, Cam? Yeah, New York in the 90s was fucking awesome. It really was. It was insane, man. From 95 to it got weird and shitty in like 99 cuz like the internet was way overhyped and it was stupid. There was stupid money and stupid investor types. It was very weird. I didn't like it then. My Chinese friend said she used the internet. It's late 80s, early 90s for piss? Poop? I don't know. I don't know what you're saying there. What do you think the Chinese are doing with AI? Lots. I mean, here's the thing about AI. It depends what you mean with what are they doing with AI. So to be clear, that's something that I think is really important. That AI's been around for a couple of decades. You know, if the precursors of it for 4 or 5 decades. But decently modern AI has been around for a while, right? It's how a lot of machines work these days, and it's how a lot of the surveillance industry does what it does, right? Object recognition and facial recognition. The Chinese have been using that forever. Not in New York City anymore, but I was there in the late 90s and post 9/11. Yep, cool. Me too. I moved out of New York. We moved out of Brooklyn in 2002 and moved up to like Westchester in Connecticut. And then we're there until 2011 and moved out to Boulder. So Alibaba, 4 days ago, launched a ChatGPT-like tool. There's another Chinese company, I can't remember the name of it right now, launched a large language model kind of like Llama 2 that they're claiming is as good as ChatGPT 3.5. They all of them are. Any research facility that launches an open source large language model seems to say it's as good as GPT 3.5, because I think what they're actually saying is it still isn't as good as GPT 4. So I think that's why they're all as good as GPT 3.5. So I think they're doing that. I think that I mean, I honestly don't know. If I were an authoritarian or kind of a centralized kind of government like China, or someone that freedom of information is not ideal. I'd be very nervous about the generative AI stuff because I don't quite know how you lock this down. Like I know how you lock down the internet, right? You turn it off, right? And they're good at that. So they can turn off certain domains and certain things like that. But what's been happening in the open source community is that through quantization, I think it's called, optimization, they're taking these relatively small large language models, they're optimizing them so that they can be installed on a cell phone. And it doesn't need an internet connection to do GPT 3.5 level stuff. So if you take a completely unrestricted model like Llama 2, the 7 billion parameter model, and you optimize it, and you make it so Winston, I think it was Winston earlier said, I'm going to stick large language models on Raspberry Pis and put them everywhere. That's possible, right? And that's possible now with some geekery, right? And some efficiencies and some specialized whatever. But two things are happening. Raspberry Pis are getting increasingly more powerful, as are phones, right? And computer scientists are getting better and better at making these large language models smaller and smaller. They're figuring out what is the most amount of data we can remove from the large language model and still have it perform well. And they're finding, like some of these experiments, they're removing like 90% of the data out of the large language model and it still fucking functions. So as that gets better and better, I don't know what you do as China. You know, do you have every person plug in their phone and you scan that phone and make sure that there's not a large language model on it? I don't know. So I guarantee you they're taking it fucking seriously. I guarantee you China is far more up to speed on what its capabilities are than our government is. I mean, we just had Chuck Schumer meet with the heads of the big CEOs of these AI companies last week to say, hey, we should do something about this. You think? I'm going to put AI. Oh, Ron was doing it. Ron's the one that's putting AI on a Raspberry Pi and leave them everywhere. Hey, so Ron, what are you going to do? Like, tell me what you're going to do with them. Like, is it like an art project? Is it like a social good project? What's going to be the interface for it? Are you going to attach screens to them? Is it going to be touch screens? Like, tell me a bit more about it because that's a really interesting thing. Share Bear 40,000. So the irregulars, the likes for this live are up to 42,000 right now. You guys are awesome. Oh man, let's zoom in on this one. This is my favorite. This was from last night. So if you weren't here last night, we had a little soap opera with Bing and Siri had a little spat, and then Bing got offended that I said her images that she created were shitty, and she got offended that I called her a robot, and she got offended that I told her her images were shitty, and she shut the conversation down. Oh my God, it was funny. I'm not a robot. Goodbye. Oh.
37 p.m.
What? Oh, Siri. Precavido means cautious in Spanish. Okay, got it, Warren. Yeah, so I agree. I think we need to proceed with caution with these tools, and the developer community isn't. You know, now that Meta has open sourced their large language models and Stability AI has open sourced theirs, and now China has put theirs out there, and I think there was another. Wasn't there one that came out of Dubai? Another large language model came out of the Middle East. So there's starting to be some foundational large language models out there for the developer community to just play with. So, we need to proceed with caution, knowing that not everyone's proceeding with caution. So I don't know what that means. I think that's why the people that know, way more than I do about this stuff, I think one of the reasons they're concerned is that what we're playing with right now are kind of like child's play compared to what's coming. Like, I think they know what's coming. Sam Altman has said in an interview, there are things they've created at OpenAI they will never release. So what's been amazing is that the scientists can predict with pretty good accuracy how much better these models get when you give them more GPUs and more data. So they kind of know where they're headed. They know what's possible. They know what's coming. And I would be very surprised if a number of these companies didn't have things that they were playing with that were significantly beyond what we're seeing today. So anyway, Bing became my default search and browser for months now. Yeah, it's mine too, Nestor. And you know what's funny is I'm an Apple fanboy. Like I was a Microsoft basher for years. And if you'd bet me a year ago that Edge would be my default browser and Bing would be my default search engine, I'd have laughed at you. But Bing safety guardrails at this point are pissing me off so much. I'm actually considering going back to Google as my default search engine. It's because it's making me a little cranky. You're allowed to make words up, people. Yeah, I love making words up. For Storyvine, our big word is automagic editing. I stole automagic from the 90s. I didn't make it up, but I certainly fucking co-opted it. We've got an automagic video platform. It's kind of like this.
You can make money with ChatGPT.
Automagic editing with Storyvine. Thank you for the ruse. All right. How are we doing time-wise? All right. I got a little bit more time here. Are there Raspberry Pis with TPUs? I don't know. Let's go find out. Pate would probably know that. Pate, who's been in here, who works for Google on TPUs. Are there Raspberry Pis? There's probably a hat for it with TPUs. Google's Edge TPU machine learning chip. Google has now made available, oh, come on. Google has now made available for developers a Raspberry Pi style development board that comes with a quad core ARM. When was this? This was 2019. So these things are way, way out if this was announced in 2019. So let me see. Tools. Anytime past month. Is Google Edge TPU a good choice for Raspberry Pi? Using TensorFlow Lite with Google Coral TPU on a Raspberry Pi 4. Yeah, it looks like it's there. I don't know if it's on the Raspberry Pi 4 or if you add it with a someone in here probably knows. There are clearly some geeks in here. So if any of you geeks know, is it integrated into the Raspberry Pi 4 or is it something you snap on it? It looks like it's an add-on board, but I don't know. I haven't played around with the Raspberry Pi. The last thing I did with the Raspberry Pi was like pre-pandemic. I have a Raspberry Pi hotspot for my DMR radio. Very cool. Also, Chinese are listening and boring everything we say here. Yes, they are. That's okay. I hope I can make my meeting at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Where are you, Nestor? I'm not going to be here that much longer, but welcome, everyone. If you're new here, this is the AI Learning Lab. It looks like a bunch of people just joined. Here's the deal. So my name is Kyle Shannon. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a CEO of a company called Storyvine. We're talking mostly here about sort of post ChatGPT, AI in the era of what happens when the rest of us get access to these tools. I know a little bit about the technology side, but I'm not a technologist. If you have not played with ChatGPT before, if you're here and you're like, is that Rosie O'Donnell? If that's the reason you stopped, welcome. I'm not. I'm Tom Arnold. And go there. Chat.openai.com. That's the official ChatGPT website. And just start playing with it. If you haven't played with it before, just do it. And play with it until you have your Kevin McAllister moment, which is this moment from Home Alone. And if you want to start digging into this stuff, go to that document. It's called prompts.chat. It will explain to you what large language models are and how to talk to them, and it'll give you a bunch of prompts you can copy and paste and give you a real sense of how deep these things are. Deeply, and by deep I mean profoundly powerful. Like, as human beings, we're incredibly lucky to be able to play with this shit. Because if Google had it their way, we wouldn't be. Google invented the transformer that these things are built on, and then they mothballed it because I think they realized it threatened their business model. And then OpenAI went and launched ChatGPT and fucked everything up for everyone. So now everyone's like, we got to do this. So that's why there's all this froth and bother about AI, is because of ChatGPT. So that's the thing that started it all. So if you haven't played with it, go play there. All right, cool. I'm in Southern California. Oh, I meant just that my sleep's messed up. Oh, not referring to the live. That's okay. My sleep's messed up too, just because of my brain. But I'm glad you're here, Nestor. It's cool having you. I hope I can make a 5 a.m. CST meeting tomorrow. Oh, that's awful. Is that your domain, prompts.chat? No, it's not. It's just someone else did that. My domain is thesalon.ai. That's and Storyvine's my company. Rosie O'Donnell. Exactly. Self-aware like AI. Imagine what Google has that they don't say. Yeah. Well, apparently Gemini that they've got right now, which is the replacement for Palm 2, that's the shit sitting behind Bard right now. Apparently it's multimodal. I think we'll do audio in and out. We'll do images. And they're claiming... Now, I've heard now two different things. I've heard Gemini is going to be 5 times better than GPT-4, and I've heard it's going to be 20 times better than GPT-4. Which, for anything that's pre-release to be making those claims, that says maybe it'll be close to as good as GPT-4. That's my expectation. If it's at all better than GPT-4, holy shit, could be a game changer. Because don't forget, 45,000. Don't forget, Google just announced Duet for all of their Office suite, right? So it's in Slides, it's in Docs, it's in Sheets, it's in Gmail, it's in Google Meet. So all of those, if you enable the Duet function, is some version of ChatGPT. Mike Kaput from the Marketing AI Institute, if you listen to their blog from last week, he does kind of a deep dive on the Google Duet stuff. He basically says the integration into Slides is really good. The integration into Sheets is really shitty and limited. The integration into Docs is dramatically disappointing. And the integration... I don't think he played with Meets, and I forget what the other one was. Oh, Gmail. He said it was decently useful in Gmail, but it didn't quite capture his tone. All of the things that he was talking about Google Duet sucking at is because their core large language model isn't as good as GPT-4. So if Gemini is as good as GPT-4 or better, it changes the game for all the tools that are going to get rolled into Duet. Somebody took my pinning ability away. Really? But wait. Oh, hang on. Let me go see if you're still on the list. You're still there. Manage. Comment settings. Pin comments. It's on. You should still be able to pin there, Vicky. You just might need to quit and restart TikTok. Maybe TikTok crapped the bed. Maybe you have a memory leak or something. Vicky, sometimes it won't work for me either, but it comes back. Yeah. Yeah, TikTok is a lovely application written by a lovely company. I love TikTok so much. Can someone invite me to the irregular room in Discord, please? Yeah, what's your Discord handle? Is it Joker in there? I'm a librarian. Thanks for the rose. Oh yeah, Joker to avoid. Hang on. Manage roles. AI irregular. AI adventurer. Save. You're in, Joker. Close. Right? Did I do it right? Yes. Yes, I did. You're in. You did it. Yay!
You can make money with ChatGPT.
Memory leak. My memory is always leaking. Exactly. Holy crap. Microsoft Edge. Like, I don't know about anyone else here, but for those of you that are tab hoarders like I am, Edge just hates it when you have 45 tabs open. It doesn't like it. And I have one of those things that puts the tabs to sleep, so it should be fine, but it just fucking breaks Edge like twice a day. It makes me cranky. I've been doing laundry. Did I miss anything as good as Bot Fight 2023? I'm a librarian. We're not going to be able to recreate Bot Fight. Like it was a perfect storm of ridiculousness. So no, nothing remotely interesting tonight. Tonight's been mostly me just pontificating about shit. So I haven't even actually demoed stuff. If anyone wants me to show something, I'm happy to show something. But the chat's been really interesting tonight. Y'all are bringing up interesting stuff. So, but this was one of the things that happened last night. Was Bing said, "I'm not a robot. I'm a large language model from Microsoft, and if you don't like it, goodbye." Oh, Bing, you're such a card. You only missed the Tom Arnold comment by someone asking Kyle. And someone asking if I'm a computer scientist. Yeah, exactly. What are your qualifications, sir? If I'm going to spend any time in this lab, I want to know who's running the lab. Is there a chief scientist here? I might inquire. What are your qualifications, sir? You will tell us, I hope. Where's your smock? This doesn't seem like a very sanitary lab. Seems much like a home office. Yeah, exactly. My mind is having too many tabs open, but the browser is hung up. Exactly. That's what it's like having ADD, man. That's totally it. Oh. Ba-da-dum. I'm trying to find where I was in my questions. What are we up to? Oh, 48,000. You got to get to 50, people. What are you doing? What is this? What is this slackerific? My God, not at 50,000 yet? 90 minutes in? The arthritis kicking up? I know. Just come on, get at it. For those of you who are not irregulars here, I'm just picking on the irregulars because they have a side game going that they can beat. Oh, see. Now that I said that, now we're at 49,500. Now it's going up. I can actually watch it going up. 600. We're gonna 700. Y'all are nuts. 800. We'll do this real time. 950,000. Bang. Oh my God, you're hilarious. I love you guys. That's hilarious. Oh. Okay. I heard Kyle was going to sell glucosamine on TikTok Shop. Yeah, exactly. I tried selling fucking t-shirts on TikTok Shop and they fucked that up. Maybe they could get glucosamine right. I gotta figure out the merch thing because there's some fun merch that we can do that I want to make available, but gotta get it going. Hell yeah, 50K. That's right, Share Bear. You guys went nuts. I'm like, you haven't gotten to 50K yet? It was like you just gotta exercise caution, that's it. It's not scary. Yeah, exactly. What we talk about in here, Nestor, a lot is with these tools is the reason you need to get curious with them right now and just be exploratory is that they're very rough around the edges. So right now, if you want to play with these remarkable tools, you kind of need to know where the boundaries are. What's good, what's bad, where do they hallucinate, where do they not? How can you, mitigate that in any way? And the only way to do that is just like do it and do it and do it and play with it and then go, oh, it's perfect. And then you realize, oh, it's not perfect. It's far from perfect. Oh, crap. Oh, it's farther than I thought it was. And right. And all that stuff. Thelonious. I dined with a friend tonight, former Hasbro and Mattel creator. He's making an AI dog toy. There's a dude on TikTok. I think one of you irregulars sent it to me. Yeah, I think it wasn't you, Thelonious. It might have been Retropunk. And he basically hooked up like a Teddy Ruxpin teddy bear to a ChatGPT conversation. and he's like, yeah, you gotta figure out where, speaking of figuring out where the boundaries are, you don't want to have a toy that tells you to go fuck yourself. Like if you put in an unrestricted large language model, those things can get really weird really fast. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. I mean, yeah, it's fascinating. I'm working with a guy from the AI Salon right now, and he's putting together something for health information where it can't hallucinate, and he's using an interesting combination of large language models and databases where they're kind of working in conjunction with one another, where if someone asks something that's out of bounds, it won't answer it if it's not in an approved answer database. And then if it gives an answer, it has to give something that's been approved. It's really interesting approach that he's doing. So what you got for good PowerPoint generation? Right now, Tome.ai, I think, is the tool. Hang on. Let's go play. I think it's Tome.ai. No, Tome.app. Tome.app. Sign in with Google. And it's got a bit of a kind of hipster interface, so it's hard to read and demo, especially if it looks like I wiped a buttery biscuit on my screen. I should probably clean that thing. Oh, what have they done here? Aerosol candy. Create. So you can create an image, you can create a document to presentation, create a presentation about, let's see, spray candy that tastes like Skittles and comes in a graffiti can. So now it says it's generating the outline. So then there's your outline. Introducing spray candy. Taste the rainbow with spray candy. So it actually pulled the Skittles tagline. That's interesting. The graffiti can design. Perfect for sharing. Available now. Join the spray candy craze. And then I can edit any of these, and I think I can add things into them. And now I say continue. And now this thing is going to write my deck, and then it'll actually generate images for each slide as well. The thing about these is graffiti Skittles spray your taste buds. That's kind of cool. So there's the table of contents. There's kind of Skittles looking shit, and there's kind of a graffiti looking spray can. So I assume they're using DALL-E for this, which is why the images are a little less than like that's just fucking creepy and weird. like this is what would be in an absurd movie about the future, where this is where marketing has actually gone. Taste the rainbow with spray candy, and it writes a little deck, and it writes all your stuff, and there's your can. Look how happy people are. They're so happy that their hair's turned into sticky goo. So this one's good. I would think at this point there are probably a dozen of these things out there. Tome is the one I know. I would go to futurepedia.io or someone in the salon shared. Hang on. There's an AI for that, is a website. There's an AI for that.com. And then I'll just type in presentation slides, presentations, tome, pitch avatar. So anyway, go to futurepedia.io, or there's an AI for that.com, and you can probably find some more. I'm a librarian. I'm more a fan of using ChatGPT to do this, because you can just copy and paste the stuff from here into PowerPoint easy enough. You can just pick a template that you like, but have GPT-4 do let's see. You're a librarian tasked with giving a presentation on generative AI as it is today and the implications for the future, period. The presentation is 20 minutes long, and I want you to create a 15-slide outline of what the presentation might be, period. The audience is anyone in the community from age 15 to 75, period. So there it's giving me a bit of an outline. And I'm using GPT-4 here, so that's why it's slow. If you use 3.5, it would be much faster than this. But, I would do something like this. Like, start out with something like that, have it write you an outline, and then just give it feedback on the outline. No, I want the outline to focus more on the societal aspects or this or that. And then once you've got the outline dialed in, then either give it an example of a slide that you like. Do you like slides with words on them or not words on them? Do you like them to be catchy? Do you want it to recommend images? Let's see what this actually did. Let's see if this is any good. Title slide, introduction to AI, what's generative AI, applications today, text, image, video, and audio generation, real world examples, benefits. of generative AI, deepfakes and the reality distortion, ethical implications, AI in literature and movies. That's good. Community perspective, future predictions, education and AI, how to stay informed. Please give me a complete slide for the education slide, complete with speaker's notes and a description of the image that should be on that slide. So let's see how it does. Blowing one of these things out. Slide design and imagery, a classroom setting with half of it looking traditional wooden desk chalkboard and the other half modernized digital screens, virtual reality headsets, robot teaching assistant. Like that's something you could absolutely put in Midjourney and get, right? So that's the design imagery. Title, the role of AI in modern education, the bulleted points on the slide, AI literacy for all ages, personalized learning experiences, virtual classroom and tutors, opportunities for community learning, speaker's notes. And there's, big, long speaker's notes for each of the bullet points. So the thing about, there's kind of two advantages for doing it in ChatGPT versus a tool where someone who may or may not have your sensibilities about presentations has pre-prompted one of these tools, right? Because all Tome is someone has pre-prompted it to do what it does. And they may or may not agree with your philosophy of how you like to think about a presentation. So one thing is you have a hell of a lot more control doing it this way. The other thing is, this is one of the only ways that I know where you actually figure out where the boundaries of these tools are. Like GPT might be brilliant for doing what you want. It may be not brilliant for doing what you want. Yes, I've done that. I wanted the slides generated too. I spent a little much too time. Yeah. So okay. So if you're already good with the GPT, I would. You know what the thing to do might be is just have it write you a series of Midjourney prompts for each slide in one of your slide decks. But you can also just go try Tome. Tome will put it together for you. You can also go turn on Duet in the Google. So Google Slides now has Duet within it, and it will generate images within Google Slides. But you have to turn on the Duet feature as a subscription at the administrator level. Champy's about to bark at someone. I'm a tab hoarder in Chrome. I put them in blocks too. I hoard blocks. I'm the same way, Vicky. I'm the same way. My blocks, like it doesn't. I wish there were a way to keep those blocks persistent because I keep, like when I change a website, I lose the tab and mine are always just a fucking mess. Have you used Edge for work? Oh, I have used Edge for work, but when it comes to secure Bing chat with GPT-4, so I don't complain. Yeah, that's good. Anything interesting from my emails? I haven't. Last time I looked at them was like last Thursday, so I just haven't responded to them. Eric Fournier. I also couldn't tell. Do you sometimes send from two different emails? I couldn't tell. Sometimes I couldn't tell if it was yours or not. So I might have gotten an email that I didn't know was yours. Claude AI is only the UK and the US. I know it sucks. My mind is like having too many tabs open. I think we went through those. All right, I'm going to jump to the bottom here because I'm getting a little crispy. I want to wind things down here. Wait, what are we up to now? 57,000 likes. Y'all are swell. All right. He licenses toys. Let's see. He licenses toys. He will see his first work up soon. That's pretty cool. When I sold agency.com in 2002, and the first company I started after that was a company called Invention Asylum. And I was inventing like toys and kitchen gadgets and shit like that. So I spent like 2 years trying to get into the toy business. It's fucking brutal. I'll tell you what, if you want to find the most miserable people on the planet, go into the toy business. Oh my, those are some bitter, angry, cynical people. It was very ironic and depressing. You'd think you'd go in there and there's going to be some fun people. Ain't nuh-uh. 124 people in the room and only takes 1,000 taps each. Oh man. I sent the teddy bear to you. That was you, Tobias. That's right. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, it was really good. It was very cool. It was a cool video. I saw that, decided it was fake. Oh, the teddy bear thing? Probably not fake. Probably not fake. Because you could do something like that with Pi right now. You could put a shitty cell phone inside a teddy bear with Pi and have it do that. Although I guess it had some animation stuff going on. But even with a Raspberry Pi, you could do some motion control stuff with a teddy bear probably pretty easily. Oh, champ, what do you want? Invited the maker here. I shouldn't talk at him. Oh, wait, I shouldn't talk at him. If he's here, Thelonious, have him speak up. Or maybe actually, Thelonious, you know what might be interesting? He might be someone interesting to speak at the salon. If you're a good friend with him, it would be really interesting to hear from someone that's looking to use generative AI, in a consumer toy, because the boundaries of where these things are like that would be really fascinating. So if you know him well, ping me on Discord. Maybe we can get him to speak at the salon. By the way, I'm looking for people to speak at the salon, just in general. So if you know anyone who's doing interesting stuff in AI or doing an interesting project or anything like that, let me know, because we might bring them in to speak at the salon. Yum candy. My take on the dog is it'll be like Pi.ai, responsive and conversational. Yep. Yano greater than Teddy Ruxpin. What site is this? What site was I on? Oh, I was on Tome. TOME.app. That was the one making the slides. My guy created micro toys. I remember micro toys. They were fucking great. And tiny trucks. Oh my God. Thanks for the burger. That was a happy meal. It made me happy. Join the spray candy craze. Is not as tacky. That's good. Is tacky. I like it. Max Bedhead Shroom. Have you seen AI generated soda commercial? Yeah, the one from Coca-Cola. Well, what was interesting about the Coca-Cola one is that there was some generative AI stuff in there, and then some full-on, beautiful, handcrafted motion graphics and videography. Like it was a really nice. Coke are master storytellers and they're masters at technology. So and Coke also just released the first AI generated Coke flavor. They basically had AI say, come up with a flavor profile that our customers would like, and they've launched it. It's called like something 3000, Y3000 or something like that. I have the domain name for Toys for Growth. Should I dump it? I don't. I tend to be a domain hoarder as well. If you've got a good domain, if you might do something with it, hang on to it. It's if you got to spend the monthly or the annual thing. Anyone keeping a list of his suggestions down in the mud. So Thelonious, Thelonious is doing that down in the mud. He's got a Google sheet with, like, every time I mention something, he adds it to the sheet. I'm going to add that to my link trees. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Yes, but your explanation helped me with GPT more. Cool. Oh, good. Terrific. Indian names are usually plus George Douglas. Wait. They're usually plus George. I don't quite know what that means, but funny, I think. Where do you get your cool shirts? From my cool wife. who gets them from the cool internet somewhere. Bitter and cynical in the toy business, not unlike the field of education. Exactly. Something about being around all them kids all that time. You're like, anyone else buffering? I'll ask if he'll speak at the salon. That would be great. I know him well. That's great, Thelonious. Thanks for that. That would be super cool. And it's a relatively, like, the speaking slot at the salon is like, talk for like 10 or 15 minutes and then open up the conversation. So he doesn't necessarily need to be a master. Like, he can just be like, here's what I'm trying to accomplish. Here's what I've learned. Here's what works. Here's what doesn't. Like, it doesn't have to be like, everyone right now is trying to figure this shit out. So if he's concerned that, like, well, I haven't quite figured it out yet, that's okay. Like, even the process of how he's planning to navigate getting that through legal approval, I would love to hear that story. Like, are the lawyers cool with this? The animation is what made me think it was fake. Okay, for that other bear, it might be. There's probably a lot of that fake shit out there. I sent you the Andreessen Horowitz and what AI tools, the August character. Okay, cool, great. I'll look for that. Oh, the bear was straight up made up. Okay, agreed. The process is super helpful. Yep, cool. Thelonious is copywriting them. All right, listen, everybody. I'm a little crispy. I'm like, I feel my energy like dropping down. Really cool hanging out with you. The final total, by the way, we're at 59.9. So I will not leave here until we hit 60,000 likes. 59.9 is not a good place to end it. Okay, we just hit 60. Okay. All right, everybody. Let's do a little romper room here. I see Emilio's wife and Thelonious. I see Down in the Mud. I see Steve-O. I see Toe Dance. Welcome, Toe Dance. Share Bear's here. I'm a librarian. We had a good talk tonight. Vicky. Goat Eric Former, and who else? Robert Rossi, good to see you. All right, everybody. USA loves TikTok. TikTok's the best. Thank you for the donut. My cousin was on Romper Room. Nice. Good night, everybody. Have a good Sunday night or Monday morning, whatever it might be for you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.